Let's take a look at this example. We're still talking about mutually exclusive events or non-mutually exclusive events. So it says 2 fair dice are rolled. What is the probability of getting a sum less than 7 or a sum equal to 10? Are these events mutually exclusive? So if we wanted to list this out, we could say things like 1 plus 1 would add up to be 2, which is less than 7, and we could say 1 plus 2 would equal 3, which is less than 7. But using a table could be helpful because then we won't miss any of the options possible when we have 1 through 6 from one die and 1 through 6 from another die. And all the options are right there in our table. So we could easily see that we have sums that are less than 7 right here. So all the 6s and 5s, 4s, 3s, and the 2. So the probability of getting a sum less than 7 or a sum of 10 is much easier to pick out when you put your numbers in a table and write out all the options just so you don't miss anything that's possible. Alright, so a sum less than 7 was 15 total options there out of 36 total options altogether of sums we could get by rolling 2 fair die. And then a sum of 10 happens 3 possible times out of 36. But there's never a time where we could get a sum of less than 7 and a sum of 10 at the same time, so there's no need to subtract any of the overlap, so we could just combine those to be 18 out of 36, which is 1/2 or 50%. So this means that every time you roll 2 fair die, you have a 50% chance of getting a sum less than 7 or equal to 10. So let's write, you have a 50% chance to get a sum less than 7 or equal to 10. Okay, so let's take a look at some more examples. Suppose you're rolling a 6-sided die. What is the probability you roll an odd number? So our sample space for this example would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So the probability you roll an odd number would be 1, 2, 3 out of 6 numbers would be odd. What is the probability you roll a number less than 4? Alright, so less than 4 are 1, 2, or 3. So there are 3 numbers less than 4 out of the 6 total numbers I could get. Can these both occur at the same time? So are there numbers less than 4 that are also odd? So we would say yes. 1 and 3 fall in that category, so yes. When you roll 1 or 3, that would happen. So in this case, we would need the probability formula right here. These are mutually inclusive events. In other words, they can occur at the same time. And you would have to subtract the overlap. So we have a probability that it is odd. So I'm going to write that out. Probability of odd plus the probability that it is less than 4. But then we have to subtract the probability that it's both odd and less than 4. And so that would be 3 out of 6 was the probability that it's odd. The probability it's less than 4 is 3 out of 6. And we had 2 numbers that were in the category of being odd and less than 4. So we have to subtract 2 out of 6 for that. And say 3 plus 3 minus 2 would be 4 out of 6, or 2/3, or 66.7%.